Okay, the first time that the conversation came up about kind of some fantasy talk, it had always kind of been a fantasy, I guess, of mine to have that threesome. And I don't know if it's from kind of a safety thing, Anyway, that was just kind of something I had wanted to do. And when it came up, John said, well, I think, let's try to figure something out about that. Well, once he said that, then I was a little bit gun shy. It's like, well, wait, maybe, I don't know.
So he didn't approach the subject. You had just mentioned that.
It just kind of came up in a joint conversation. I can't remember the specifics of what we were talking about, but I do know that our relationship has been so honest from the get-go that, just in our daily conversation, we would touch on that subject. And so I felt safe enough to at least tell him about that. And he was very supportive. And then from the time we had the conversation to the time that I actually agreed to do that was actually several months, because I kept kind of vacillating back and forth between whether that's something I really felt like I could do from the standpoint of taking responsibility for what was going to happen afterwards.
And there was some fear
there's
too
that risk
on her part of how, if I was being honest about really being okay with it.
I mean, what if it was some secret test and I was, that kind of a deal. So when I finally decided, it was just kind of a jump in with both feet. I just one night said, okay, I'm going to do this, And so we were able to get on a site, and we were able to locate a gentleman that was in town for the night. And so John was in communication with him, and we set it up. And on our drive over there, I was really having a lot of internal conversation. Am I ready to do this? Am I not? He kept saying there wasn't any pressure. I could have gotten there and said I don't want to do this, and he would have been fine. I can say that now. I wasn't quite sure at the time, but I hit a point, I guess, in that trip that I was ready to, like I said earlier, take responsibility for whatever happened, because this was really ultimately about me. This really wasn't about John. This was about, is this something I want to do for myself, and just see what happens. Maybe this is something I will like, maybe it isn't.
Did you know that he had clubs and all that? And
absolutely, at that point. That had all come up very early on.
Yes.
So I also kind of looked to him for some kind of guidance and support, because I felt like, because of his background, that he had a lot of experience in it. So there was some trust there with him. But then once we arrived, and I met the gentleman, and again, this is the first time I'd ever done this, so I wasn't really quite sure what to do. When we get in there and I meet him, but then the interaction between John and him was kind of, I was doing a lot of watching too, just on how that went and how gracious he was to him. It was so backwards from how I was raised and was told that things would work, like this isn't supposed to work like this.
Did they know each other?
No.
And this was what website was it?
The adult social networking site, and the guy was on there, said he was in town for business, and we saw pictures, so it looked.
And we talked to him, and so anyway, we got there and we started just having a conversation, and then it kind of led, it led on to the whole experience then through that evening that I experienced through that, which was a little bit shocking. I was a little unprepared for the empowerment I felt, because I'm there with two men. It almost seems like it would be backwards, like I'm somehow submissive in this male dominant situation. But to me, it almost seemed the other way around. That I had this sense of power. I think because I had allowed myself to actually make a decision for me. And that was very different from my upbringing and with the relationships I had had. And so it was really empowering. And then to see his support and his affirmation and how much he was enjoying it was just a really different dynamic. So, at the end of that, when we were saying our goodbyes and we got in the car, I was really surprised by the conversation that then took place from that location to our home. It was just, there was all this energy and excitement, and we couldn't wait to get home and further experience what had taken place with each other. Again, it just, this is bizarre to me because this shouldn't be what it is. There should be all this jealousy and confrontation, and I should be crying because it's horrible, and you should be upset. Instead, it was like, I love you so much, and this is so great. It's like, this is great.
It was incredible.
It was. And from that point forward, that's kind of where that whole Pandora's box opened up.
That was the beginning.
It was. It really was.